I am Mara Sov, Queen of the Reef. I once made a great sacrifice to protect humanity from the Hive. I lost everything. My fleet. My brother. My people's very way of life. I watched the dreaming city fall into ruin. Desecrated by Oryx. Cursed by Savathun. Now I've returned to retake this sacred place, to finally wrest it free from the Hive's claws. Although you have taken things near and dear to me as well. You have also learned that your list of enemies need not be so broadly defined. Today we are afforded a unique opportunity. The road ahead of us is fraught with perilous choices, Guardian. Choose wisely.
I am making way through the opposite flank from you. The Hive are swarming. We will be as the mighty crabs of old and pincer them. Break their lines and meet me at Osiris' signal. Geppetto says there's another ghost nearby. Lightbearer, reveal yourself.
That would be me.
What are you doing here, Borg brother? Did Zavala not send you away?
Osiris called me for help. With all these Hive around, I can see why. This reeks of Zebul wrath.
He called you? No, go home. This is not your fight to take. It is mine.
You can't keep him in a cage, Saint. You're not the only one who cares about him.
Lectures? You know nothing. Osiris is not himself, and I am the one to bring him back.
Well, I will say this, I understand.
Still fumbling around in the overworld, old light? There's an Awoken device near you. It should let you slip into the Ascendant Plane and get you closer to Osiris.
Crow and I used them to hide from Ratborn.
Stalk. We were stalking, not hiding.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox Boom Boom experience. Stay right where you are.
Without further ado.
Taken portals, awoken dimensions. Fine. Go, Guardian. Take the crow's path.
The Ascendant Plane should skirt you past the Hive's barricades. Just be sure to mind the taken.
A number of amazing deserts. It also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow capital, the highest one we've ever had.
So you talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful all-new interactive features, but what more can you tell us about that?
So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, we're able to utilize to really make our cars look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism.
That's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes-AMG 1 and
Guardian.
the 2021
Any taken signals falling on
Take a look.
A big Wrathborn headed your way too.
Be brave. Osiris is not far ahead. I am not far ahead
Yeah,
of
so
you,
those
Guardian.
differences are
We
exactly why
converged
we
on
chose them.
Osiris'
The Mercedes
signal.
AMG
Then
1
we'll see each other
marked the
soon.
first time a car features
Grow
all-in-one
up.
hybrid technology,
Whatever
almost
happens,
one
friend,
to one
we
with
cannot
Optimus
lose
Prime.
him.
And with the
Even
2021
if I
Ford
do not
Bronco
understand, I must
Badlands,
believe
that's
his
primed
actions
for
have
rugged
purpose.
off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the game, so I don't think we should keep them waiting any longer. Mike, can you tell us about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay where we're going to
I had hoped you'd find your way
Mercedes
back.
AMG 1
I'm a
and
bit
the
lost,
2021 Ford
actually.
Bronco Badlands. And in typical
This
Horizon
feels
fashion,
familiar.
we are going to see active volcanoes, cars jumping out of
Do I
fireplanes,
know
and a
you?
race under beautiful Mexican skies all the way to the
Osiris!
festival. Should we check it out?
You must come home. Answer for what you have done. The Vanguard will show mercy.
Yes. Ikora and Commander Zavala are nothing if not generous. Queen Mara. Look how they've welcomed the crow into their flock.
It isn't too late. You can still be forgiven.
Be careful. I'll hold you to it.
No! No! Where is Osiris?
Lower your weapons. Osiris still lives.
You trust this thing?
This thing and I have come to an agreement. You need only cooperate.
What is it?
I am Savathun, the Witch Queen, sister of shapes, deepest in the hive coven, etc., etc. My sister Zivor Arath hunts me on behalf of another. I wish only to be free, and Mara Sov has graciously agreed to help.
And Osiris?
Sweet that you should care, little bird. I have been Osiris for as long as you have known him. But rest assured, I will return him safely to you, in exchange for your assistance.
Queen of lies! Pray this is the one time you are telling truth. The Vanguard must know what has happened here. Stay, Guardians. I will go.
So now we see the 2020
Someone
Stingray
once told
tearing
me
a
that the
battle
line
towards
between
the
light
dust
and
storm in the
dark is
Mexican
very
summer.
thin. Walk it alongside me. For Osiris. This will guide you. A powerful relic of Awoken design. Take it and return to your Helen.
Welcome back to the Blind Well, Guardian. It enables transit between this reality and the Ascendant Plane, using paracausal ley lines. Unfortunately, this gate opens both ways. Xivu Arath, Hive God of War, is trying to secure it for an invasion of the Dreaming City, so she can capture Savathun. We must hold this location at all costs. Glad to have you along, Guardian. Xivu Arath's forces have infested this area. Their taken rifts are destabilizing the ley lines, making alignment impossible. Hold off the Taken as best you can. Once their leadership arrives, put them down and bank their Taken essence. That should close the rifts and secure the area.
Just like streams of water, ley lines can be polluted. Xivu Arath will use them to poison the blind well if she can. Stay vigilant.
There's Scorn inbound. It's unclear whether they're coordinating with Xivu Arath's forces or just taking advantage of the chaos. We can't risk them poisoning the blind well with dark ether. Let's clear them out. The Scorn will try to harvest ether from these dead servitors. The servitors will release the ether at regular intervals. Keep an eye on the harvester to anticipate it. Once the ether is released, destroy it before it gets to the harvester. Good work shutting down the Scorn, Guardian.
The timing of their mission is suspicious. Is this coordination with Xivu Arath, or mere coincidence?
Xivu Arath is sending her strongest lieutenants to secure the blind well. We can't allow them to establish a beachhead for the Hive.
Well done, Guardian. The Reef-born thank you. If we are to survive the coming storm, the tower and the dreaming city must stand united.
We'll hold the blind well together. As we open more ley lines, we can start exfiltrating our lost Techians.
Once my coven is reassembled, we'll exorcise Savathun's worm and put an end to her lies. Once and for all.
Approach, Guardian. I have an Awoken tale to tell you. One my brother recited to our people's children quite often. Long ago, great kestrels roamed the sky. They built ornate nests in the heavens like conquerors. But in their arrogance, they ignored whispers of storms on the wind. Until one day, one such storm swept over them. It collapsed the heavens, drowned their nests. So they fled, and the storm pursued them. Most died, but a fated few washed upon the shores of a great hollow oak. There, a mother kestrel guarded her clutch, 2 shells, bonded inseparably. A daughter, Riga, a son, Ager. Their hearts beat in unison. And they grew. Riga, intuitive and cunning. Ager, loyal but adventurous. Knowing they would one day wish to leave the hollow to face the storm, their mother plucked feathers from her plumage, and one from each child. For Riga she crafted a crown to keen her mind, centered by Ager's luminous feather. For Ager, she crafted a scepter, cored by his sister's obsidian feather to guide his spirit. There is truth in this tale. The scepter and crown, they are real. One I already have. The other, you will retrieve for me. When you return, I will tell you the rest.
This is the gatehouse. It leads to many places. The vault where I stowed the scepter is one of those places. The atlas skews you've collected serve as star charts of sorts, used to map and navigate ley lines back when they could be freely explored. Aldrin had been searching for Agers Scepter for some time when he made these. Another daring venture to win my affections, against my better wishes. He often embedded travel logs into his skews. Here.
The spies who can follow me will find these. Do you still walk the old paths we made? Mother's old tales come to mind. I've been adding to my favorite, the twin kestrels whose hearts beat as one. You'll have to tell me what you think when I return with the scepter. Mother Kestrel watched perfect daughter Riga as she plotted the infinite paths of the Hollow, as if concocting a plan for each way it could grow. But with her son Agers, Mother instead held him tight beneath her wing in the oak's hollow. She pointed starward and whispered warnings of dangerous storms and cosmic sojourners that carved chaos in the sky. The beautiful depth of the dark spots caught his eye. His imagination was arrested by them. Agers struggled against his mother's wing, yearning to leap from the tallest branch and soar to see the storms for himself. But Mother Kestrel's talon caught him. She scolded him to never leave the canopy. She held him in crushing closeness and vowed not to show him the stars again. He grew to resent her protection.
If it is still unclear, the twin kestrels represent Uldren and myself. Their mother is Mara Sov. Uldren found Osana's prescriptions restrictive. I never considered her a mother myself, but her dreams of foresight interested me. We both saw calamity looming, Osana and I. In the distributary, where the Awoken were born, we were eternal. Osana would hide there forever rather than face the enemy. When we left to form the reef, many chose to hide with her. You're done here. I'll send for you when more skews reveal themselves.
And you're certain she's contained?
Certainty is a necessity. It is your doubts we should fear with Savathun among us.
Be straight with me.
Remember who you are speaking to. I hold all the keys to all your futures. I would not let them dangle carelessly without attention.
Savathun's never been a one-track type of opponent. She's playing you.
We are not the same, Ikora. This is a plan long set in motion. She is contained and soon to be dead.
Was Osiris's capture part of your plan then? Sagira's death?
Navigating the future is not always clear.
If you're willing to sacrifice my people for your plans, how can I be sure you'll wait to see Osiris returned before slitting the Witch Queen's throat?
I mourn for Sagira. I have every intention to see Osiris returned safely. It's more than you did for me. If my assurances mean nothing to you, let me offer a warning instead. You are following your doubts into Savathun's trap.
Your arrogance might kill another one of my friends, if he isn't dead already.
Had I more wishes, things would not be as they are.
Had you more wishes, they'd be much worse.
twin kestrels darted through the gaps between branches. The leaves formed verdant pathways. Predictably, Riga first, with Ager close behind. In those pathways they traded secrets. Secrets Riga whispered to the flock, hoping to push them beyond the hollow, beyond the forest. Most nights, Riga and Ager sat beneath the stars to dream. Twin hearts sounding a duet of beats. Like ours, Mara. I still feel yours. Still distant. In this story, Ager fixated on the dark clouded pox that marred the night above the canopy. He pointed to the starry spaces between them and asked his sister to name them. Riga never spoke a word. She already knew all their names and didn't want to crush his spirit. How charitable. One night, Ager grew impatient of her silence and pointed to one of the dark spots as it roared with thunder. The storm is singing to us, said Ager. We should sing back to show it we are not afraid. Riga wove her voice with his, and the thunder resounded. She did not sing with him again after that night. Rare to see stars in the ascended plane. I wish we were doing this together. Why hide the scepter if it weren't a test?
I understand Awoken history is not your strong suit, Titan. I will teach you. When the Awoken people came into being after the collapse, I was the first. As first, my chosen form defined what an Awoken could be. Thousands followed my example, willing themselves into existence within the distributary. Some, like Uldren, required help. His mind was like an unsteady fawn. No surprise he was unable to do it on his own. So I guided him, filled the gaps in his memory. I gave him a star to follow. He was bonded to me, and his devotion spiraled into pathetic recklessness. Even through death, he hasn't outgrown that dependency. I see it in him as he looks longingly to his ghost for answers. To you.
Riga worried their song had attracted the storm's attention and made plans for the flock to leave the hollow. She locked herself away to study. The separation pained Ager, like you know it does. Unable to bear the loneliness, Ager finally took to the sky. High above, the open air cradled him like star-cloth ribbonets. He felt peace in the deafening rush of wind across his feathers. Once he found them a new home, Riga would love him as he loved her. She would offer him the scepter their mother had crafted for him. The scepter that Riga selfishly kept. But as he approached the forest's edge, night fell and thunder shook his heart. Agers saw a great storm building on the horizon. Had he the scepter, he could have fought. Instead, he listened, straining through the thunder for the faint, secondary beat of Riga's twin heart. Through lightning and chaos, he followed it home. Ager told Riga of the storm, the forest's edge, and the gleaming bulbs of starlight clashing overhead. She didn't scold him or tell Mother Kestrel. She listened and heard the possibility in his tale. Gratitude. Imagine that.
In another life, I'd have appointed Aldrin Dominion of the Reef's borderlands to expand and connect the kingdom under my reign, Agers Scepter in hand. He would have used it to open doors and challenge foes best left alone. He was not unlike a guardian already, and he would have died before his time. Aldrin's fall was a predetermined point, so I hid the scepter away and gave him something safe to chase. He often strayed from that path. Behind the curtain of the universe lies the Ascendant Plane. Here, causality meets consciousness, and worlds are born. Go, find our lost Techians and bring them home.
Beacon ahead. Be cautious. You've aligned the beacon. Clear out that opposition so it can do its job.
There is a malevolent force at work in this plane, Guardian. I can feel it slithering like black water over stones.
I'm detecting beacon alignment, but there are enemies closing on your position. The final beacon is aligned. I'm detecting severe paracausal emanations in your vicinity. Get ready. It's over. The beacons have aligned and the rift is open. Bring our Techian home.
There's something about this place that's just... I can't shake the feeling of dread. Like something out of a bad dream. And not just the time the High Celebrant threw me in that pit. It's like this place is haunting me.
Or you're haunting it. The Ascendant Plane is as much what you bring to it as it is what you see.
I am at your mercy, Guardian. This construct protects me from those who wish me harm, from my worm's hunger. But it is a prison, too. Quite elegant, don't you think? I have only one regret, and that is how long it took me to reveal myself to you. I see your synapses firing, a specimen scarred by skepticism. They call me a liar, but we share mutual interests, you and I. If you believe anything I tell you, believe in that. Now, let me show you a different interpretation of the truth. Who is Savathun, you ask? You already know. Oh, guardian mine. I am your friend. I tried to protect you from the Black Fleet. You called it interference. Don't worry. I was not offended. Instead, I found a form more pleasing to your eyes. Osiris was lost, lightless. I saved him from Xivu Arath and assumed his shape so I could guide your victory against her. I ferried the reborn prince to your city so he could be redeemed. I protected Zavala from Kaido's ambitions, ending a war before it could even begin. I delivered the House of Light on its knees to Ikora. I unmasked the enemies lurking inside your city's walls and destroyed them. You may disagree with my methods, but you can't argue with results. I am no villain, and you are no hero. We are paracausal.
This is my fault. I invited her in. I convinced Zavala that we needed Osiris by our side. A dark pit looked back every time I met his eyes, and I told myself it was his grief. Savathun knew she could use that. The city is the last place Xivu Arath would have searched for her. Now, Saint is tearing the system apart, looking for the real Osiris. You and Crow will need to take point with the Awoken. I don't like it, but he wants to help, and he's earned some trust. It's his decision. We're in a downpour of revelation. I've been trying to analyze every drop of information, as if I could isolate them before they're washed away. There's so much I need to reevaluate, so much I need to do. Interrogate the Witch Queen while we have a captive audience. Our enemies often flirt with arrogance when they believe they've won. See if she'll let her true intentions slip.
Osiris, I will not abandon you. As I speak these, guardians of the city patrol across the system searching for you. I am searching for you. No amount of hive spawn or Savathun's trickery will stand between us. You will see freedom. You will return. It is not your way to die. Wait for me, as I did for you. You have never practiced patience, but hold on a few moments more.
Saint?
Have the Hidden found him?
Saint, you don't have to broadcast these live.
I see. This is true.
Geppetto can establish a repeating signal. It will forward any response directly to you. Besides, I could use you in the field.
Yes. I am, if nothing else, useful.
More than that, you are needed.
I knew it was not him, but I would not listen to my heart.
Compassion can be abused. Optimism has its pitfalls. Flaws don't make them worthless. Even lies can be learned from.
Do not worry. I think I will not be using compassion next time Savathun stands before me.
No, I think we have a whole different set of emotions to deal with that moment. Osiris is out there. We will find him.
If Xivu Arath were to control it, nothing would stop her army from flooding the city.
We need to replace the batteries for the Blindwell's regulators. They're dense with paracausal energy, so it'll take teamwork to get them installed.
Shouldn't be too difficult. How heavy could they be?
The batteries are too heavy to carry while fighting. Stay close to the carriers and watch their backs.
I heard so many stories about the Scorn during my time with Spider, but never how they came to be.
How things came to be is less important than accepting them for what they are.
Keep watch on the harvesters. They'll indicate when the servitors are going to release their ether. Once the ether is exposed, destroy it. I know it's hard to destroy good ether when the House of Light goes hungry, but sacrifices must be made. Mithrax Kell would understand.
Taken forces gather at the edges of this reality. They are coming.
So, Petra, we Guardians have this tradition. It started with a good friend. Drinks after a successful operation.
What makes you think, even for a moment, I'd be interested in that?
Because you seem like you could use a break? Maybe blow off a little steam?
No.
But you haven't even heard where... Petra? Hello?
Must be a bad signal.
Journey forth, Guardian, and be bold.
The telemetry you're sending from the compass looks good. There should be a beacon nearby. You've aligned the beacon. Clear out that opposition so it can do its job.
Hive force their way into this dimension like brutish thieves, sculpting the plane with crass disregard for its elegance.
You've aligned the beacon. Clear out that opposition so it can do its job. The final beacon is aligned. I'm detecting severe paracausal emanations in your vicinity. Get ready. Well done. We've detected the Lost Techian's location through the beacon network. Bring her home.
Every tech witch we rescue gets us one step closer to finding Osiris.
Good. He won't wait long.
Perhaps we find Osiris before Savathun's plan hatches. Then we let Zivo Arath tear her to pieces.
That sounds dangerous. I wouldn't want to feed one hive god to another.
Yes, but it is entertaining to picture.
I knew you'd be back. I'm so glad we get to talk. You and that charming little ghost of yours, you're not like the rest. You're not afraid of my words. Words are just thoughts given shape. Ideas emerging into the physical world, birthed by a mouth. Not good or evil, not light or dark, or this or that. And you understand, don't you? Despite the excruciatingly binary worldview of those around you. You don't have to say it. We've all heard it before. The line between light and dark is so very thin. As if you were incapable of lifting your eyes from a scroll of chalk on the ground. The traveler in the light near one foot, your old enemies and the darkness at the other. Let me tell you a secret. If you ever want to see what's been watching you since the very beginning, just stand on that line and look up.
We Awoken were born of light and dark. Our perspective on the universe is a complex one. The light is not inherently good, as your warlords of the Dark Age so clearly demonstrated. In spite of Zavala's preconceptions, darkness is not inherently evil. Some among you already discovered this on Europa. In my travels, I have seen true evil. It is the worm gods that the Hive serve. It is the Black Fleet, waiting to strike. It is the entity that commands them all. The voice in the darkness. These creatures are not evil because they wield darkness. They are evil because, like Savathun and Zilu Araf, they are cruel, hateful things with no regard for the lives of others. Some might say that includes me as well. I will let history be the judge of my guilt. Before that judgment is cast, I will see my Techians returned. Perhaps with them I can save us all.
People of the last city. Recently, the Vanguard has been scrutinized for a lack of transparency. And we've paid for it. I hope this broadcast represents our efforts to the contrary. Many of you came to me having witnessed the Vex attack. Many of you claim to have seen Osiris present there. We now know this was a deception, an illusion spread by our enemies to turn us against each other. It worked for a time, and we mourn those lost to the senseless violence unleashed in our streets. But we have overcome that fear, and we now stand united. Humanity, Elixni, and the Awoken of the Reef. Our allegiance is what the Witch Queen fears. It is what she meant to stop by sowing discord. It is what will lead us to victory. Know that this battle is not one we are bringing to your doorstep, but it is one we fight to keep the city out of the line of fire. The Vanguard asks for your patience and understanding. If you can offer those, we will offer what insights we can to your questions. You are always welcome in the tower, but I will be in the streets.
Align the beacons, Guardian, and signal the way home.
The final beacon is aligned. I'm detecting severe paracausal emanations in your vicinity. Get ready. Well done. We've detected the Lost Techian's location through the beacon network. Bring her home.
Ley lines. Why is this the first I've heard of them? Savathun never mentioned them. Not even when we were hunting Xivu Arath's High Celebrant through the Ascended Plane.
We Awoken understand many forgotten cosmic truths. The existence of ley lines is but one. Savathun knows of them too. But you expected the Witch Queen to tell you the truth. Don't be so naive, my darling.
What did you call me?
Osiris was like family to me.
You've never even met him.
I know. Just let me speak to Savathun, please.
No. I won't give that witch another chance to dig her claws into you.
Maybe she's right, Crow.
You know I am. Savathun is already in your head. You're a liability to the mission.
Why do you have such a problem with me, Petra? 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking.
The Queen of the Reef forbids it.
Well, I don't take commands from the Queen of the Reef.
Savathun unraveled the Dreaming City with a single wish. I've spent years trying to contain that mistake. Better men than you died because of it.
To my ear, it sounds like you're the liability. Maybe your queen's trust in you was misplaced. A knife against a hunter? I'd be more careful who you pick fights with.
Another step, and my Corsairs will have to prepare you a second grave.
Save it for the Hive, both of you. This isn't getting us anywhere. Thank you. We could all probably use a minute to cool off. Oh no.
Keep both eyes on that one.
You can't stop the inevitable. No one can, though Petra Van seems perfectly willing to try. I've always sympathized with Crow, you know. All the kind words I shared with him as Osiris were sincere. I know what it's like to be an exile. To be hated for things outside of your control. It would be better for Crow if we talked. I want to explain why I did what I did. I want him to know that my affection is true, because the less he knows, the more vulnerable he is. Doomed to be strung along by false promises from supposed benefactors. But then again, I'm the one trapped in the crystal prison. What do I know?
Venge thinks I'm vulnerable, and I'm supposed to just take a seat? Like I was the only one fooled by Savathun wearing Osiris' skin? You'd known him far longer than I thought I had, but I don't see her forbidding you from speaking to her. Because it's not about me. It's about who I was, isn't it? Every time the Vanguard tells me that things will get better, I thank them. As if it's a privilege not to be beaten to death. Our past lives aren't supposed to matter. I'm beginning to wonder why I'm the only guardian being judged by mine. No more apologies. No more creeping around on eggshells. I deserve an audience with Savathun. I deserve to know how much of what she told me as Osiris was a lie. I deserve answers.
I don't need to be Mara Sov to see into your mind, Guardian. You think I'm making a mistake. You think I barred Crow out of pettiness. I won't say I didn't recommend it, but it was the Queen's order, for his own safety. I see Prince Uldren's arrogance in him, his desire to please. He's vulnerable. Uldren and your Crow are echoes of each other. Surely you can see that. They share kindred weaknesses. Savathun will exploit them again if we let her. But with Mara back, I can finally see the end approaching. It's been a long time coming. There are still Techians in need of your strength. I wish I could fill their place, but this must be how things are. I'm here if you need me.
These tactics the Titans come up with persist.
Each ascendant beacon you reawaken reclaims a road once lost to me, broadens my sight. But my realm still aches. Savathun has done so much to destroy everything my people worked for. She stole my brother from me, twisted his mind, and delivered him to his executioners. Then she had the audacity to steal him from the Traveler, manipulate him, and lead him back home. It is strange, having him here. And yet not. Crow is a wounded bird, flinching away from me, so much like Uldren, but lost without a guiding hand. Do you understand why I forbade him from speaking with Savathun? This reunion is such cruel kindness. I will find a way to repay her for it. And you will continue to bring me the Techians I need to do so.
How long have your hidden been privy to Uldren's resurrection?
Long enough to watch over him in your absence.
And you didn't direct him home. Why?
There was a concern he'd pick up some old habits.
You know the god made him sick. Riven twisted his mind. Eris would have seen it. She is not so easily deceived by skin-deep tricks.
It's true I made mistakes. Out of an idea of justice. Out of grief. Are you leveling this same scrutiny toward Petra? Wasn't she supposed to be watching his grave?
Petra has paid her dues. The Vanguard murdered him and is yet to pay theirs.
We both lost family. I'm sorry for my part in yours, but Crow has been treated...
My brother is dead. He was exhumed, his body twisted into caricature. You had your vengeance.
Is that what you're after? Cade, I still feel that grief like a stone caught in my chest. Some days it's more pronounced than others. Vengeance didn't erode that grief.
Then tell me, who am I to blame? Who sent him into Savathun's clutches? Who bludgeoned Uldren into a scared animal and drove him from his home?
You did, Mara. And those guardians who hurt him did so out of misguided anger. Don't make their same mistake. Don't make my mistake.
Ager, much loved by the flock, convinced a great many to fly with the twins when they left the hollow. He knelt before Riga and presented the crown of feathers their mother had crafted for her, and waited for her to respond in kind. She rose as queen, but did not gift Ager the scepter. His scepter. Despite everything, she still said he wasn't ready. It was a test of his will, right? His devotion. One he would not fail. For he was patient. So patient. Together the twins led the flock away from the oak's hollow to carve new nests in distant boughs beyond the forest's edge. Ager flew far and wide at Riga's behest, always thinking of her test, and returned home with tales of all that he had seen. Dark clouds surrounded them. Fires burned within trees, split by thunderous bolts. His twin kept his words close. Riga scattered prophetic bones and traced their curvature like weathered oaken bends. In them the signs were clear. A great storm did indeed approach, they in its path, and so they prepared themselves for war. I wish you just give it to me. I could use it to help us face what we both know is coming. It doesn't even belong to you.
This coming storm he speaks of was the flashpoint. The battle of Saturn against the Taken King. It was the shift from stability into dissonance. I failed to shape Uldren in accordance with my goals, but if I were to take all that he was and reveal that past to him now, would he be my brother? Or is it only his echoes that remain? I see many of those same beginnings leading now to different ends. Tell me, would you be so forgiving if Crow carried more of Uldren with him? Would you still accept him? A defensive ward has been engaged over the scepter. It is a failsafe to keep it protected. Either my brother found this place without my knowledge and set it off, or the ward was engaged when the surrounding architecture suffered structural damage. There is a bypass. It is code, kept secret, in that it has been scattered across dozens of terminals throughout the Awoken territory. Fret not, you don't have to collect them. I will have the pieces consolidated and reformed. While you wait, you needn't stand idle like a lost child. Return to me. My borders are threatened. The compass points unerringly to your goals and clears obstacles from your path by the strength of your will. It will discover our lost Techians when you will it.
For a long time, we thought that the blind well led to your throne world alone, Queen Mara.
That used to be the case, until our new Techians cleverly repurposed it. In doing so, they opened the blind well to the rest of the Ascendant Plane, and Xivu Arath.
We shut down the taken rifts and the ley lines are stabilizing. But until we reassemble Queen Mara's coven, we're just plugging leaks.
These batteries are heavy, Petra. A little teamwork will go a long way.
I'm not opposed to teamwork, if I trust my teammates.
The energy contained in those batteries are attractive targets for the Taken and Scorn alike. We need to keep a close eye on them.
Secure your compass, Guardian. I sense a tide of dark ether rushing toward us.
Petra, is Queen Mara's magic powerful enough to keep us safe from Savathun?
Yes. Not even a hive god could break out of that prison.
That's a relief. And she's not going to get tricked or anything, right?
Glint, I trust Mara to keep her monster caged. And I hope you'll do the same.
Okay. Sorry, do you mean that you hope I'll trust her? Or that I'll...
You know exactly what I mean.
If we secure the Techians and remove Savathun's worm, will that end the curse on the Dreaming City?
It's a necessary step, but unfortunately not sufficient.
This would go faster if you give me an audience with her. She trusts me. She's smart. We could strategize.
You can speak with Queen Mara anytime you like.
I wasn't talking about Queen Mara.
I'll pretend you were, for your sake.
Power shows the danger in hive logic, but also its flaws. You've proven that the path to victory comes only from the light.
We're happy to send the message, Commander.
Excellent work. Return to the tower.
We killed the guy in charge and his big scary blight.
When we have a common goal, civilians and Guardians can stand side by side and accomplish anything.
That's the last of them, isn't it?
Good riddance, evil bastards. Until next time.
Xivu Arath's subordinate came to my doorstep as a thief. Their death is the price of encroachment. Agers Scepter carves pathways toward one's goals. The compass you carry is based off the same principles as this weapon. In Uldren's hands, it could have connected every edge of my kingdom. Through Xivu Arath, it would grant an omnipresence within the reef even I could not subdue. Deliver it safely to me. While it may never be Uldren's, it may yet serve to guide what he has become.
So you wish to hear the rest of my brother's story? Fine. I will oblige you. When the storm came, Riga and Ager rode the winds to meet it. A fleet of talons at their back. A great battle ensued. The storm took, as was its nature. Many fell, Ager among them. Riga could only watch as he tumbled down, 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 until her heart beat alone. She dove into the storm, giving herself to destroy it. Riga's spirit ascended higher into the sky where she hoped to reunite with her brother. Instead, she met the thing that sent the storm, a bottomless well of grief, unreachable by reasoning or bargaining or violence. A voice in the darkness. And so, Riga gathered her feathers into an aegis of wings to shield the world below. But over the years, feathers broke away. Futility wore thin her resolve. Then, one day, her heart began to beat as it once had, doubled, distant, but different. A beautiful echo. Hope called her home. And though she prayed to find Ager there, he never returned. I still feel Uldren's heartbeat somewhere out there. When your crow first stood in my halls, I saw an ember of my Uldren burning in his breast. Curiosity, and a sibling fondness, told me I could stoke that ember. I hope it is not a lie. I hope he is more than the last ebb of hot ash from a long dead flame. Many of his faults were not of his own making. Uldren's decisions were his, of course, but driven by whips in the hands of others. Myself included. I will have to offer him more than an old story of an empty promise if I wish to see that ember burn again. This is the path I led Uldren down. If certain actors had kept to their roles, I would have wielded Uldren Sov, Light-Bearer. But even Mara Sov cannot control everyone. I celebrate his resurrection in the light, but I detest seeing my brother rewritten, his greater self sloughed away and swept into the cellar. There is still good to draw from who he was. Don't squander it. He needs a star to guide him. Uldren or Crow, they are the same in that regard. Agers Scepter is yours, then, both its burden and the freedom it can provide. Be careful with it, Guardian. He is prone to devotion.
Once more, we part the curtain of reality, and you step beyond.
The telemetry you're sending from the compass looks good. There should be a beacon nearby. The final beacon is aligned. I'm detecting severe paracausal emanations in your vicinity. Get ready. Well done. We've detected the Lost Techian's location through the beacon network. Bring her home. Another victory. It's refreshing to see what we can accomplish when Guardians and Awoken cooperate.
I don't know. The Awoken out here seem to be good at doing two things: losing and hiding. The Guardian and I could have done this ourselves.
You're welcome to go off on your own whenever you like, Crow.
I'd hate to play into the stereotype. I think I'll stick around.
I've been thinking about family quite a bit. What with all the spare time I have. It might surprise you to hear, but everything my siblings and I have done has been for each other. Even though the Vanguard isn't quite the same, they're no different at heart. You'd do anything for your family, chosen or otherwise. Go to any lengths to avenge them. Look at the Crow and Queen Mara. Siblings, bonded by cosmic fate, forever orbiting one another like binary stars. Mara reminds me of my sister. She's afraid, holding on so tightly because she can't bear to lose one more thing. But we all have to let go. When I am separated from my worm, I'll be separated from Xivu Arath too. And then my sister will be alone. The last of us. But as much as I care for her, I cannot stay like this.
We are surrounded. A ring of spears pointing inward from the edges of our system. The Black Fleet could have destroyed us, and yet they have waited. Why? Savathun knows more than she lets on. It is the only reason she still lives, and she is keenly aware of that fact. It is why Xivu Arath pursues her so relentlessly. For Xivu Arath answers to the same entity as the Black Fleet. We must uncover whatever secrets she knows with the time that we have. I must reiterate, she will try to betray us. It is all that a wretched, self-serving creature like Savathun knows how to do. She needs me to free herself of her worm, but after that, the blind well requires alignment. As you rescue my remaining Techians, continue your audiences with her. How did Mies Rex put it? We must all learn to live alongside our monsters. Though I suppose he never said for how long.
Petra, it's Ikora Ray. I thought now would be a good time to check in.
Things are progressing as well as can be expected, given the circumstances. While we've recovered some of the lost Techians, we still don't have everyone we need to separate Savathun from her worm.
Understood. Don't rush this on my account. Savathun may be waiting for the freedom she thinks is coming, but frankly, I don't care what she wants. This needs to be done with as minimal risk to your people as possible.
I know you hope that this will lead you to Osiris, but you want my opinion? Osiris is already dead. Savathun is a creature of lies. She has no honor.
Your opinion is noted. And on the subject of opinions, how's Crow?
You want my take? On him? In a word, vulnerable. But Queen Mara refuses to send him away. Though, you could.
Trust is a delicate thing, Petra. I don't want to lose his. This is important to him. I trust Crow to make the right choices, and for you to protect him from himself if he doesn't.
With each ley line we restore, we get closer to our lost Techians.
And Xivu Arath's army gets closer to us.
I appreciate the Guardian's talent for finding lost things.
For returning them to you, you mean?
Yes. Have I mentioned that I appreciate you as well?
We should go. Regroup. The Techians aren't going to rescue themselves.
Align the beacons, Guardian, and signal the way home.
It's done. The beacons are in alignment, and Xivu Arath's forces are in retreat. Let's bring our lost sister home. Another victory. It's refreshing to see what we can accomplish when Guardians and Awoken cooperate.
I don't know. The Awoken out here seem to be good at doing two things: losing and hiding. The Guardian and I could have done this ourselves.
You're welcome to go off on your own whenever you like, Crow.
I'd hate to play into the stereotype. I think I'll stick around.
When this is over, I wonder if Mara will uphold her end of the bargain and let me live. Killing me is probably at the top of your to-do list as well, isn't it? You've done a lot of killing over the years. Let me ask you something. Of all the enemies you've fought, how many saw your ghost and realized, that's why Guardians are so strong? Not most, but some. They might have even taken a shot at it. R.I.P. Cade. Now, how many saw beyond your ghost? How many followed the line of your light straight back to the Traveler? And how many knew enough to aim a weapon there? A few. The smart ones, the dangerous ones. You'd recognize their names. Listen to me now. Look beyond me to my worm. Look beyond my worm to something far, far worse. Then look down at that little gun in your hand and tell me, what do you think you're going to do with that thing?